Hey everyone, welcome into my channel. It's Karen, Lavenderclothesline, and we have a haul today that's a really mishmash mix of items. I have some hard goods, I have some linens, I have some car parts, I have some clothing. That's what we're doing today. It's been a while since I've done a haul. I've been out shopping a lot between shopping for the house renovation and thrifting. So if you're new to my channel, I am a full-time reseller on eBay, and I recently became engaged and we're adding on to the house. So all the balls in the air, trying to keep everything running smoothly, which some days it's a trick. Grab yourself something to drink. It's a haul today. All right, these are items that I picked up mostly from thrift stores. I don't think I have any auction pieces here. Yeah, I think most of this are thrifted items, and we're going to start with the first item. I love picking these up. This is, I call these tray mirrors. I'm not exactly sure if that's what it's called, but as you can see, a really beautiful ornate wood frame, keeping it on a tilt so that you can really get a look at it. I love this because the frame is gold. Gold is the #1 color to pick up in frames, framed mirrors. That's what sells quickest for me. But this one's especially good because it's got this chalky black, it is a little dusty too, insert or double frame to it. Just beautiful. This is what the back looks like, upside down. And it is marked. It does have a barcode. I don't know that that means anything because the paper could have been put on afterwards. You never know with this back paper, but I think barcodes started in the 70s, so who knows what time period this is from. Let me get my trusty, I have a magnifying glass here somewhere. What did I do with it? I've lost it already. Okay, I had to run to my office. I left it on my desk. So on the back, it is saying that it is made from the Bombay Company, which could be vintage. I'm not sure when the Bombay Company started, but in my opinion, they have some really nice items. In fact, years ago, I had a few of their pieces in my house on Long Island, and they held up great. They were beautiful. I actually had, okay, down a rabbit hole we go. I actually had a cricket table. Have you guys ever seen a cricket table? So the sides fold down. So the table was round, and then when you twisted the top, 3 of the sides fold down, the leaves, and it became a triangle. Very cool table, and it was in a cherry finish. I don't know what happened to that table. I think I sold it. All right, even before I was selling, I was selling. So that is item #1. I always pick these up. I do like to flip the bigger mirrors on Facebook Marketplace, but this one I'll probably get brave and ship on eBay. So that is item #1. I took the price off of it. If I remember correctly, $4 or $6 I paid for it. So I think I mentioned that the last mirror was made in Mexico, and this one was also made in Mexico. This is so 90s to me with the bow top. You can see that this is all wood. I do believe this is wood. It sounds like wood. And it just says made in Mexico. I paid $7 for it. And again, I'll probably ship this. Just a beautiful gold rectangular mirror. I'm guessing for the black mirror, I'll probably get about 60, 65, and this one I'm thinking 35 to 40. I do really well with mirrors. I've mentioned this before on Facebook Marketplace, local pickup. I have sold, I don't know, a lot of mirrors. I try to stick with the bigger ones for local pickup so that it's worth my time. In other words, I can command a higher price because they are bigger and people are really looking for them. The keywords that I put in are Victorian, Hollywood Regency, and sometimes even farmhouse. I throw the keyword farmhouse on pretty much any type of item that can blend into a farmhouse style, whether it be something very country and primitive or something a little over the top gold. I have now seen the words French farmhouse, farmhouse core, all the words. Everybody's putting all the words, but I love picking up mirrors. So whenever I see them and I can grab them for a good price, I absolutely put these in my cart. The next two items that I want to talk about, I actually scored on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. So I've been on Facebook Marketplace a lot because with doing a renovation, I try to score some of the things I need secondhand. So I'm always stalking Facebook Marketplace for my area because if I can get something that I really want or need, you know, it just cuts down the cost. I'm a huge believer in buying secondhand. A lot of what I own is secondhand. But these came up and I kind of knew I couldn't use them, but this is Restoration Hardware. I'm going to show them to you. This is the library sconce, and it has the back plate in a brushed nickel, I'm going to say, in a square shape, and then it has this elongated candlestick. I think you can put little lampshades on it. I don't know that the lampshades originally came with it. It could have. But the thing that's cool about this is their plug-in. So I thought that was really great for people to install, even by their bedside. I think this would be really nice for a small light, you know, in the evenings while reading in bed, because, you know, we're all laying around in bed reading books. Who does that? Not me anymore. I used to keep a big pile of books by my bed. That was pre-internet phones, all of that. But these were great, and I got two of them for $30. I thought that was a great price. Now, I did not run comps. With the name Restoration Hardware, I always talk about this brand. It usually commands good money. So I'm guessing for the two of them, probably 60 to 70, and I paid 30. So easy pickup. It took me 10 minutes to get there. Just a quick cash deal, and I love it. So great. So Restoration Hardware is definitely a brand that you want to run comps on. The next little purse actually has a Goodwill tag. This was $3.99, but this was given to me by one of my subscribers, Lori. Lori, thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart. So Lori picked this up in Goodwill, and although I didn't get to meet with Lori that day, she saw Roger in the thrift store and said, oh, I have something I want you to give to Karen. So look how sweet this is. I'm thinking this is 1950s, 1960s, and I think this is called either caviar bead or cord bead. Adorable little floral pattern, and the inside has the branding, which I can't really read the gold branding. It's a little bit worn. Lumared, I think that's the brand name. I'm going to show it to the camera. Maybe the camera can pick it up. Probably not, because you guys always say you can't you can't see my labels close up. I do have to keep the camera a certain distance. Like right now, this camera is like 3 feet from me, but it probably looks like I'm sitting right on top of it because the lens is so magnifying. And then sometimes with the lighting, because I am close to a window, to be well lit, it washes out the tags. All the things, try the best I can. So this purse is adorable. These vary greatly in what they bring. I've seen these bring as little as $5, and I've seen them bring as much as $35. But either way, Lori, that was super sweet of you. Thank you so much. Lori also gave me a tea kettle a while back, and I believe it sold, and Lori, forgive me, I forgot what it sold for. I did not keep track of the sale price. So love this purse, so adorably sweet. The next item that I saw on a Goodwill shelf, I just immediately gravitated towards it. It's going to make a little noise because it has beads involved. I'm going to try to lift it up carefully. I think this might be made in Italy. I haven't really looked at it too carefully, but it is a very large rosary. And although the beads have a carved wood look, it is not wood. I believe these are just a resin plastic. And I paid $4 for it. So I've seen these hung on the wall, and I've also seen these draped on a coffin. So I'm not sure of the original use or if it has a set original use. Definitely a rosary with a crucifix on the bottom and Mary with baby Jesus there. I love beautiful religious icons, artwork, paintings. I don't hang any in my house. You know what? That's not true. I look at it all the time and I didn't even realize, Karen, you have one in the living room. Mary and baby Jesus, I have a framed print that I picked up, and I have not been able to sell that thing because I love it. I will not let go of it. I thought I was going to sell it, and a couple of you were waiting for it, but just know it does hang above my couch. It's one of my favorite pieces, and it's not a very expensive piece, but sometimes when you look at Christian religious, artwork of faith, it just speaks something to you. And I love that Mary and Jesus look so humble and just like, I don't want to say this disrespectfully, but like regular people. They don't look like out of this world. They look like they were people, just like they were. So I think it really speaks to me, and I love the colors in it. I'm sure it's famous artwork, and I've forgotten the artist, but any kind of religious art, whether I've done statues, what else, paintings, rosaries, praying hands, different figurines. I really think quite a few people collect this type of item, so I'm always sure if it's a good price to pick it up, and I don't run comps on it. Now, I'm not saying for you guys not to run comps, especially if you're new and you're getting started reselling. Running a comp is the most important thing you can do. The other day I ran into some resellers, and they were telling me that they had just started, and somebody said, what's your most important piece of advice? Run comps. In the beginning, when I started reselling and I was just doing clothing, just women's clothing, I would grab like 10 or 20 items and sit in the dressing room on my phone because I was hiding the fact that I was a reseller. I didn't feel comfortable. Now it's like the whole world knows I'm a reseller, and it's just fine. But yeah, so I used to take 10 to 20 items and pull them into the dressing room and sit there. The girl working the dressing room probably thought I was trying on all of these pieces of clothing, and meanwhile I was checking comps. So I would come out and she'd say, oh, how did you do? And I'd hand her back the items that I did not want. In other words, there was no profit in them, but I was thrilled to be able to check comps. In this business, that is everything when you start out. Just my piece of advice. And even now, over 10 years into this, I'm still running comps on quite a few items, but a lot of days when I'm shopping, I don't have time. I'm just throwing things in my cart. All right, let's go on to the next piece. The next item up, sometimes I grab these and sometimes I don't. This is a stairs basket. So it's meant to go right on your staircase. So the upper stair would rest here, and then the next step down. So I would imagine from here to here is the standard size for a staircase, so it would sit properly. And what did I pay for this one? I took off the tag. I think I paid, I don't remember. I'm going to say $4 or $5. And I liked this one because it had this chain pattern on it. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know that the person who made it is calling it that, but it looked like kind of like a patriotic colorway, and also a chain pattern, and it is signed on the bottom. Baskets that I have that are older, that are signed by the maker on the bottom, whether they be Longaberger or just a handmade, piece from an artist, when they're signed on the bottom, I do better with them. Recently, I sold two of pretty much the exact same basket, two different artists. One was signed, one was not, and the one that was signed brought more money. I think people are looking to see who the work is attributed to, like any piece of art. And these things are beautiful. They are pieces of art. Sometimes when you find very intricately woven pieces, just amazing. I don't know how people remember what reed goes in what place. All right, so this says step basket, navy and burgundy, hand dyed, reed with oak handle. So isn't that wonderful? Put out by Bonnie's Baskets. So Bonnie made this, and she was in Pennsylvania. So good job, Bonnie. We love the basket. Now, when you find a basket like this, know that this is going to be an oversized box. I often talk about, with shipping going up, being very conscious of how big or how heavy my items are going to be, because my buyer is paying shipping. And sometimes you can pick up a wonderful piece, but nobody wants to pay the high shipping for it. So this basket is light, which helps it out, but this is going to be an oversized box, because the box is going to have to be 2 inches beyond the longest point, and this handle does not fold down. So much better when the handles fold down. but I went ahead and picked it up because I thought it was just beautiful and definitely vintage. The next piece of art just stole my heart. I'm getting so sentimental in my old age. I hope the glare is not hurting this too much. A little rabbit running through, I don't know what kind of flowers they are. Almost looks like daffodils, but, well, we'll just say a garden. Look how sweet that is. So cute. And it is signed. I don't know if this is a print or an original. I have not looked up the artist. There's two artist names on there, and I don't know why there would be two artist names. Rebecca, B-A-C-H, Bachrach, R-A-C-H, and the other one is a name, oh, it's the Latin name of the flowers. I'm not even going to try. You don't want to hear me speak Latin, trust me. So just so sweet. I love that it has the gold frame, brown matting, and just this beautiful piece. This would be great if it is original. I paid $4 for it, and Metro Photo. So that could be who framed it, but I'm thinking that might be who did the print. So that is what it looks like on the back. $4, I imagine I'm going to get maybe 25 to 30, just a guess. And no, if I look it up, of course, and the artist is well known or commands a higher price, of course I set the price, you know, by the artist's name. As long as the artist's name is readable, I definitely run a comp, and I also put them into Google to see that, you know, to see if they are a known artist. But who doesn't love a good rabbit? Do we love a good rabbit? Yes, we do. Now we're going to do a few small pieces. I did catch this one on film, and I don't know that this is going to bring any kind of money, but it's so beautiful. Sometimes I can't help myself, especially when they're in really good shape. So this is the little bowl, and this is the underplate. And I think in the video I was talking about that I didn't know what this would be for, and one of you left the comment, or maybe two of you, in that video. I think this was this the last video, guys, or 2 videos ago? One of you left the comment that it might be for salad dressing or a mayonnaise, something like that. In other words, a condiment or a sauce, and that very well could be. Sweet little dish. Now, Goodwill did charge me separately for the plate and for the bowl. But it's their stuff, so we have to play the game, right? Very, very pretty. I don't see any damage on the plate, and I think the bottom, the rim, has the tiniest of flea bite chips, which you barely see it, especially with my eyesight without glasses, but I said yes to it, and I'm thinking I paid $6. Could that be? It could be. Sometimes when I like stuff or I'm in a mood, do you guys thrift that way when you're in a mood? Sometimes you're like just not putting anything in the cart. You just, you know, are so like over it. You don't want to pay the high prices. And then other days everything's flying into the cart. It seems like that happens when I find the first good pieces that I'm putting in the cart early on in the shopping. So say I'm going to be in the store for 4 hours. If I find 5 pieces within the first 15 minutes, the cart is going to be 3 carts that day, because I just get into, I don't know, putting things in the cart. But at the very end, I always go through all of my items to make sure I want all of them. And I do try to really edit, I'm going to say, my shopping cart the whole time I'm shopping. Now, when I'm filming, a little bit harder. When I'm just shopping, it's a treat. I know that sounds bad. I love having this YouTube channel, but when you're filming and purchasing, your judgment isn't as good because you're watching the camera, the lighting, you're watching to see if the monetized music in the background is going to hurt your video. You're saying hello to people. So sometimes things wind up in the cart and you get home and it's like, what was I thinking? So that even happens to me, but sweet little salad dressing, mayonnaise, condiment bowl. All right, so we all know I'm still trying to learn clear glass. It's going to be the hardest niche for me to learn. Now, a lot of the niches I do, whether it be linens, clothing, art, I don't have a great knowledge of. I just don't. I'm really like a jack of all trades. Is that okay to say these days? You're always afraid of what to say these days. I'm just saying that. But clear glass has been the hardest thing to get a feel for me. So this was a sugar bowl and a creamer. I'm going to put my hand behind it because this camera keeps trying to focus on my face. beautiful glass. Let me see if this, I've never seen this shape and I thought it was so elegant. I think this might be, I don't think it's cut glass. I think cut glass has sharper points to it. Like in other words, the grooves are more sharply cut. I don't know what to say about that. And I have read the difference between pressed glass, poured glass, cut glass, crystal, and I think it all went out of my head. There's always that. But little creamer and sugar. I didn't pay much for these. I'm going to say maybe $3 a piece. So for $6, I thought these would look really pretty sitting in somebody's kitchen or on a dining room table. I thought just lovely, so I picked them up. All right, these next two items I did show in the video. I even opened the box, so you guys saw these in the video. I believe these are motorcycle muffler parts or exhaust pipes. See that? I know nothing about this, zero. That's even a total guess. This is Flowmaster, the Performance Technology. They could put it on the box for those of us who don't know what this is to. Even give you a picture of it, a little diagram. The reason I'm showing these, I have two of them, is because I want to encourage those of you who are new to reselling to look at things different than what you're used to picking up. My best advice is also don't get caught in a niche unless you're really just a hobby seller. You're just looking to sell, you know, say glassware, and you're just selling glassware. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to be a full-time reseller, you're going to try to support yourself doing this, you have to go into a thrift store and be open-minded to buy anything that's going to make a good profit. You can't what do I want to say? You can't be narrow-visioned for the shelves. You have to scan the shelves or the racks and be willing to pick up anything, even if you're not quite sure what the piece is or what it's used for. Automotive, I could probably change my own oil. On a good day, I could probably change a tire. That's about it. I remember one time, okay, here we go for a story. I don't even remember what car I had. I think I had a Ford Explorer, and I was separated at the time. I might have been divorced, and I was needing to change, I think it was my oil, and yeah, the transmission fluid got drained. Don't even ask. My son offered to help by getting under the car, but it was me directing, saying, you know, drain that one. And he started draining it, and it was a closed system. I can't even tell you. We had to call a flatbed tow truck to put the car on to bring it to the auto mechanic. And my auto mechanic knew me. When he saw me, I'm like, don't even ask. He's like, it's not that expensive. But I thought, how hard could this be? Yeah, it was hard. Anyway, learning automotive parts, most of these parts will either have a title on the packaging, or if you don't have it, a lot of times the branding is on it and you can look for what you have, or there's always Google image. Something like this exhaust pipe will always come up in a Google image, so at least you can get an idea. It might not be the exact one. Like when I searched for this, it came up in black, but it is Flowmaster, and it gave me sort of like an inkling that these were selling for, I think, $95 new. So the reason I'm showing this in this haul, it's not something pretty, it's not crystal sugar creamer, but this is going to make me money, because what did I pay for these? I want to say I paid $4.99 for them. And it's so crazy because I bought some bamboo trays at the same time, and the bamboo trays were like two for $4.99 or $4, whatever. And meanwhile, I'm getting an exhaust pipe that I'm probably going to be able to sell for $40, $50, just a guess. But so keep your mind open when you go into the thrift stores. Be ready to buy anything, but always check comps. I did want to also mention that if the box comes with it, there's usually the number on the box for the part number, and that makes it super easy to find. So thank goodness for well-marked boxes or even pieces. I'm always looking for a marked item. That way it just makes my life so much easier. Here is a lamp that I might have showed in a past haul, and it is not processed yet because I held on to this for a while. I knew that I would not be keeping this, but I needed a certain corner of the living room to be lit up, and I still haven't replaced it with another lamp because I'm waiting to find the perfect lamp, like the ultimate lamp. I'll probably have a dark corner of the living room once again for years because I'm so picky. This is lovely. It has, I'm going to say this is either, it's not quartz, I'm guessing this is marble, a marble base, and gold metal is still so hot right now. Now, not the super shiny, chromy metal, gold metal from the 90s, not that metal. This is more like a quiet gold, real brass. The old brass is still so popular right now. And it has a globe shape. So I will be flipping this Facebook Marketplace. I don't know where this came from, if there's even branding on it. I'm guessing about 30 to 35 because I don't like to do local pickup for anything less than that. I really try for 45 to 50. That way it's worth my time of getting in the car, putting the item in the car, meeting the person. 99% of my buyers are on time. I have great communication. When I sell on Facebook Marketplace, I list the item. If somebody contacts me and they seem interested, I give them the address of the public parking lot where I'm going to meet them, the exact time. I explain to them, this is, you know, a parking lot. I don't live here. So I appreciate your promptness. Please message me when you are 15 minutes away. That way I can get to them within the set amount of time, but I don't leave my house till I get that message. I've explained that before. That way I'm never stood up, because if my buyer is messaging me saying, yes, I'm 15 minutes away, I know they're en route to come to the meetup. So that always works great. But my number one rule is to really try to limit local pickup items that will make a good amount of money so that I'm not wasting time selling $10 items having to get in the car. I wouldn't want to do that. Wouldn't make good business sense. All right, we're going to do some linens, a few pieces of clothing, and I think that's where I'm going to end this part of the video because Roger is coming over. We are starting the organization of the basement. Very excited. This man is so good and so patient. So honey, if you ever see this video, love you big bunches. He's so patient because he knows I really need an organized life, and he's all in, and he's got a great attitude about it. So he's coming over today. We are going to organize the basement and start to measure the walls of where his items will fit, his racks, his bins, because we are having all the stuff downstairs. So that is on the schedule for today. And then after we do that, we are going to Lisa's house for dinner. She is throwing her own birthday party. We offered to do restaurant, but Lisa is very much a family person. So we are getting together for a family dinner. She is catering it. It is her 40th birthday. So although Lisa is no longer on Instagram or YouTube, if you guys want to leave a happy 40th birthday for Lisa on the comment section, I will relay your wishes to her. All right, a few linens and then a few pieces of clothing. I wanted to include these valance toppers in this video to remind you guys that valance toppers, if they are the right brand or the right material, are great sellers. It's so easy to ship. Easy to clean. These things pop in the washing machine. I paid $5. I think I have 4 of these. This is Waverly, and this is one of their iconic type patterns. Almost looks a little Ralph Lauren-y. So this is what it looks like. Although when I see this on the rack, truthfully, I know right away it's Waverly. So this is a valance or a valance topper. And I got 4 of these, actually holding it upside down, for $5. So that's amazing, $1.25 a piece. And I will run a comp on these because this is probably quite common of valance to sell. Let me see if I can find the branding for you so I can show you the tag. Where are you, Waverly? There you are. These might even be vintage. I don't think, what did I do with my magnifying glass? I don't think they have the date on them. Here it is. Made in USA. So I'm thinking this is vintage. Usually if you see Made in USA on the tag, that's usually vintage. Now there are still items being manufactured in America, but I really think 100% cotton. Trying to see if Dry clean recommended. I will wash them and line dry them. I'm going to guess that these are vintage. Vintage used to be 30 years or older, and now with online it's considered 20 years. Antique is still 100 years. I don't think that has changed. So something would have to be 1923 or earlier to be antique, and then from 1924 on would be vintage. So even the 1990s is vintage. That's just crazy in my mind. I'm like, 1990s? Wasn't that just a couple of days ago? So valances are great to look for on the linen racks. And recently, I'll insert a photo here, I sold a valence that I listed. It was this crazy long one, 210 inches, I think. I had to photograph it through this doorway right here. It started at the kitchen cabinets and then came all the way through, and I tried to photo how big it was. It had a beautiful tassel trim. I don't think that one had branding. I think it was custom made, and it was beautiful. And I put that on. I'm going to say that sold within a couple of hours. And what did I get for that? Well, the photo will show it to you. I'm thinking like $120. And yeah, I barely paid anything for that, couple of dollars. So my whole point is linens bring the money when you get the right linens. And most of them can just be popped into your washing machine and line dried. People are like, oh, you have to do the wash. To me, that's not hard. The machine's doing the work. It's not like I've got a washboard out, you know, and I'm scrubbing away. When I pull in the driveway with my haul, I gather whatever linens, that's always first to go into the machine, and put them into the washing machine. That way you just know the items are clean, and if they're not machine washable, a lot of times I give them a good shaking outside and I steam them. Always steaming all the linens all the time. So, all right, so I'm chatty today, huh? I didn't even have coffee. Okay, let's go to the next item. All right, this next bedspread was such a conundrum to me. Does anybody say conundrum anymore? I don't know where I get these words from. Did my mother say conundrum? I don't think so. My daughter Lisa and I always talk about vocabulary words, how when you find a word and it's fun to say, it winds up in every sentence. And a lot of the world is not using these words anymore. So I don't know what we're watching or listening to, but conundrum is definitely a word. Pom-pom trim. Look at that trim. Do we love a good pom-pom? Yes, we do. So to me, this is kind of like, it is a stripe. It almost reminds me of ticking. And ticking was an old fabric. I think it was originally blue in color. And I don't know if it was used only on bed linens or mattresses or what. I'm going to say ticking is from like the 1920s. That's what this reminds me of. But that's not what the conundrum was. The conundrum is that the tag, the branding, is soft surroundings. Where have I been? I'll show you this tag. This is the very first time I have found soft surroundings in linens. I buy the clothing all the time, depending on the style. I buy that all the time. But linens, I didn't know soft surroundings had home goods. Now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. This is what I do at night when I'm laying in bed, researching to see and to learn items. I paid $8 for this. I'm going to stand back. I'm thinking this might be a queen, even looks like a king. Do I have this listed? I can't even remember, guys. I think this is new. I think this is not listed yet. I'm going to show this to you. Now this is still doubled, so it's double this. Beautiful quality material. At first I thought it was seersucker because it's got that little puckering waffle texture to it, but this is much heavier than seersucker. Beautiful with this little pom-pom trim. I think it's styled, I don't think this is vintage, but I think it's styled after a vintage. This would be the epitome of farmhouse. So cute, so pretty. So yeah, so I definitely picked it up for $8. Quite heavy. This would probably fit in the number 7 box. That's the USPS box. I put a lot of my linens into that box. What is that? 12 by 12 by 8. Boxes are free from USPS. So if you're a new seller and you don't know that and you think you have to buy all of your boxes, you do not. If your item is shipping at over £1 and you're sending it priority mail through the regular post office, you can get free boxes. You can go right on USPS website and just create an account. I think it's like a username. You don't have to give them any money or credit card information. And all of the free supplies will come up on the sidebar. You can look at the free supplies and order. Now they do want you using the supplies only for what they're intended for. Don't try to turn the boxes inside out and use them for something else, because the inside of the box is branded with USPS and they really don't want you, using the boxes for anything else. But I order those boxes by the hundreds. Like when I ordered the number 7 box, the one I just talked about, I probably order, I think the most you can order at a time is 100, but I will back up my orders. I'll order, say, on a Tuesday, and then that Friday I'll order again, because I go through a lot of those boxes. But yeah, so that box is good for big, heavy linens. All right, the last 4 or 5 pieces that we're going to do are clothing, because I am Lavender Clothesline. I always say that. And I used to do so many clothing hauls, just sharing with you what brands I was picking up, how I built my business on selling clothing. And then once you go into the thrift stores, it's all fair game. But I do like to show what I'm picking up, why I'm picking it up, because sometimes you're like, really, you picked that up? And I am like, yes, all about that. And I know what sells by this point. I should say I pretty much know what sells. Sometimes things surprise me and they sell faster or slower. So the other day, Roger and I are in Goodwill together and he's talking to me and I'm looking over his shoulder and I'm like, hold that thought. And I just went over and grabbed this sweater. This thing is gorgeous. Now, I was hoping it was a Coogi. Coogi is C-O-O-G-I, and their sweaters, their textured sweaters, do very well. I think to date, my highest sale on a Coogi, I think, was the pastel one, and that sold for $650 for one sweater. That thing was gorgeous. Unfortunately, this is not a Coogi. It's not even Tundra of Canada. I like those also, not as good as Coogi, but here is Raw Blue. Never heard of this brand. I'm going to show you the tag. So the quality of this, in my opinion, is not as good as the Coogis or the Tundra of Canada. But the colorway on this and the size, what size is this? 4 extra large, it's a men's, is just beautiful. The sweater does have a few flaws. There are some pulls in the sweater, so I will take a look at seeing if I'm going to work on repairing it. I still disclose that the repairs have been done, but it just makes it ready to wear. Sometimes, let me see if I can find one of those for us so I can show you. Here's one. See this right here? It's like a thread got snagged on something. So the way I fix this is I clip the end of the loop, I take a special needle and feed it back through the reverse side, and then I knot it off. So that way it can't create a hole and you won't even know that there was a repair there. When I knot it inside, I knot it a couple times, I clip off the loose hanging ends, if all of that makes sense. That way when the wearer gets the sweater, he's aware that he bought a sweater that had some repairs, but it's fully, you can't see that it had repairs. So that is this item. What did I pay for you? Here's the tag. $8. So I'm guessing, I hate to say because I've never sold Raw Blue before, but I'm guessing around 50, maybe more. I will put this on auction because when you have something that you're not quite sure how many people are going to want it or if it's desirable, and like I said, I think the colorway is really going to carry this, I go ahead and put things on auction. Most of my items are buy it now, but when it's something that I'm not quite sure about and I want to protect that I get a good price, I put it on auction. Next up is a jacket that I think Roger gave me this one. I think we traded. What did I give him? A spider jacket, and he gave me Cool. So I love this name. It's kind of like a fleece. It's a little bit different than a fleece. It's got some paper on it. $6 and zip up men's jacket. I think Cool is an outdoor brand. And is it made, this is made in El Salvador. Born in the Mountains. So I think it's an outdoor hiking sportsman fleece. This should do well. I haven't looked at Cool lately. I have sold a lot of it. I'm thinking probably off the top of my head, 35, 40, just a guess. All right, the next piece is everything. I'm so glad. I should end with this piece. I'll just throw it in here now. I was going to say I'm so glad I'm ending with this piece, and I've got another piece after it. This thing is stunning, and this has Coachella written all over it. Look at this halter top. Can you guys appreciate the beading on that? I'm pretty sure this is all hand beaded. This is the most stunning thing. This wraps around the waist. Look at this, racer back, beautifully lined, and it's new with tags. $498 was the price, and I bought it for $7. I'm wondering if there were pants, like bell-bottom pants. Could you imagine wearing pants this heavy? My word, that would be crazy. But this is so beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. It's got this light, almost like an aquamarine, but it's a cloudy stone with the white and the gold. Reminds me of something Cher would have worn. I think Coachella is a festival that's everybody dresses to the nines in beautiful clothing like this. I think there's also another festival or another event called Running Man. Not quite sure about that, but I will probably put those words in my title. Seeing if this has boning. It does. Built-in pads, built-in bust pads, and there is boning to keep its structure. So boning is something that's used in clothing by a seamstress that really keeps the shape of the item. So beautiful. Very happy with this piece, can you tell? I'm not sure what I'm going to get for this because each piece is so unique. And again, I'm thinking, I don't know if I'll put that on auction. I'll put that as a buy it now, but put a very high price. The tag price is $498. I'll probably put around a $300 price on it. All right, and the last item is an item that I love to find. This is so heavily faked. All of this brand makes me feel a little bit cautious, but I believe this one is genuine. This is Arc'teryx. It is a windbreaker. Arc'teryx is so beautiful when it's real. And this has Gore-Tex written on it. That's what's making me really think. I don't think this one has a hologram label. This is a women's extra large, and somewhere it says Gore-Tex. Okay, here it is here on the shoulder. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. See that Gore-Tex there? That is a very good sign that it's genuine. I'm going to look at the inside labeling too. I will also research how to tell the Arc'teryx the genuine from the fake. That's a very good thing to do if you're going to get into selling the higher brands, is to really try to educate yourself to spot fakes. I know when Roger and I are in the thrift stores, the fakes are just so plentiful. Roger really knows fakes from genuine in jerseys and things like that. But when it's a luxury branded item like Arc'teryx, I consider kind of luxury, higher end, very hard to tell. So I'm going to do some research on the jacket before I list it. All right, that is it for the haul. I just wanted to fill you guys in that I did pick up the Nautica mirrors. You guys are all telling me to keep telling you about how we're doing with the renovation. So if you're new to my channel, my boyfriend and I are getting married. He's a full-time reseller. We are pushing out the whole back of my house, just blowing out the whole back, and the house is going to be chaotic for a while. Meanwhile, I have been shopping for some of the items that I need, because when that contractor is finished, I want to be able to just put our new stuff in and move in and get on with regular life. These are the mirrors. This is really going to be hard to lift. These are heavy. So I bought these mirrors and I put one up on the wall. Now I did hang it a little bit high, and I'm gonna have a lot of spackling to do in this room, but I really like the way it looks. And that is final choice. So I think the bathroom, the last thing to pick will be the faucets. I think that's all we have left. We have picked the quartz for the shower. I'm pretty sure I'm just doing white subway tile. We have the toilet, we have the vanity, we have the mirrors, we have the flooring. I think we're in good shape. All right, guys. Love you so much. Hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, go out and get what's yours.